What do we know? What do we know? If I know what we know, then I can tell you what we know, and if someone else knows, okay? I mean, it's just... I'm just gonna be more specific.
The how is simple enough. It's the why that troubles me.
Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
Long intro. Get down, Mom. I got the
Fresh air.
Seems like
Fresh air.
almost there. Here we go.
Fresh air. Fresh air.
Podcast of Rambling Randomness.
It is Nick Cage November Part 2. That's right. Last week we went over the facts. We talked about all the weird shit that Nick Cage was into and does. This week we gonna talk all of his movies.
Now, I'd say it was a deep dive, but you know me and Mole, and we don't dive.
We don't dive pretty deep. We live in the shallow
Hurts my
end.
ears.
Yes.
I get about 8 feet, and that's about it.
My back kind of hurts and my toes go crookedly and numb, and it's bad. We don't get out of the shallow end. So
But that's Mole. I'm saying.
that's right.
And we heard from you. Or at
Yes.
least I know that we heard from
There's-
you because I understand the Facebook a little bit.
Yes. And it seems to be a pretty good topic.
So Gunderson, he likes Face
Big Mike.
Off, The Rock, and Con Air.
Yes, sir.
Good choices.
Good
Gunder.
choices.
Good
Safe
choice.
choices. Safe.
They are very safe choices.
I suggest you dive a little deeper.
I don't know, man. When it comes to me, right off the top of my head, I think Con Air might be one of the greatest movies ever made.
I tend to agree.
You had Steve Buscemi.
You can't.
You had Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah, he was in that, wasn't he?
You had Nick Cage. You had John Malkovich.
Yeah, no, you can't
Come
go wrong.
on now.
John Malkovich rarely does a bad movie, and being John Malkovich was great. But we're not talking about John
You
Malkovich
had
today.
the big black guy, Diamond. I can't remember
It
what
wasn't.
his name was.
It wasn't Michael Clark Duncan.
No, it was not Michael Clark Duncan. It was the other guy.
Yeah. Oh God, I'm gonna kick myself for not
Yep.
remembering his name.
Yep.
But anyway, we're not talking about them. We're talking about Nick Cage.
Brian Rizzo, he says it definitely wasn't jujitsu.
Big Riz.
Now, you're right.
You're definitely right.
You're right. It was not the best movie. But come on, Big Riz. You got to give it to Nick Cage in that film for being a terrible movie.
Yes.
And I admit it was a terrible film.
Definitely.
Nick
terrible.
Cage did what he does best. He overacted the living shit out of this movie.
And he made it watchable.
And he did make it watchable. His character in this film was amazing. He was like an old, samurai, sage who lived in a cave, who was a drunken man that taught the main character how to get his ass beaten.
It's true. What else we got?
Well, Mole,
That's me.
one of his favorites is Willy's Wonderland.
It is. It's newer. I know it's one of the newer ones, but it's I really do enjoy that movie. And it's only because Nick Cage overacts without saying a fucking word. It is so good. Watch it.
And Chris Craig, he says
Double bubble.
that he's also a big fan. He likes Con Air. Who doesn't like Con Air?
No,
Put the bunny back in the box. He uses that southern accent in
That's right.
in that film.
That's right.
And he also says Gone in 60 Seconds, which is another very good Nicolas Cage
That is a
movie.
very good movie. And we're going to be talking about a decent amount of them today. So whatever we can't fit in, we still have one more day in November. We got the show. Maybe we can fit them in on the next show. We'll talk about that, though, later as we go on.
Yeah, because it will be Thank Goodness Nicolas Cage week.
That's right.
We got turkey, we got stuffing, we got a helping side of Nick Cage.
And maybe we'll put on Nick Cage movies while we're eating Thanksgiving there this year.
Yeah. So, I know that I'll be going over to Mole's
Yes,
house.
he will.
It's not tradition, but I've seen to find myself there many a year.
Yes. It you know what? It's always good having you guys anyway. And
and it always feels good to be invited. Thank you.
No problem. And I know sometimes the families can't get together. And
my father's in Ireland.
Yep. And Daddy
my
likes to travel.
My mother's actually going to be coming up Thanksgiving night. So I actually
that's right. You said
pick her up from the airport on that day because we've got a celebration of life to attend on Saturday.
Well, that's nice. That is very nice. So
she's coming up. So that'll be cool.
Yeah, how long is she staying for?
Just till Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Yep. So I'll have to make up a little plate for her, and bring her a little Tupperware
100%.
of
100%.
Yeah, I think she'd like that.
You know damn well we got it. We're having.
I think you'll have enough.
Oh, 2 turkeys and everything else. Because Liz will be there. We're having everything else too.
And everything else.
Because she's not the bird fan anymore. So
I rarely am too, but I do harp on. Last year's turkey was some fine meat. I told my stepmother Alice. I said, "You guys can't go away. I need this turkey. It was the best turkey I've ever had. I at least
need this turkey." Yeah, this will be the first Thanksgiving in the new house, so we're looking forward to it. The kids
first anything in the new house.
Every year. Every holiday was great. Halloween first, Thanksgiving, and we're gonna have the Xmas word there, and fucking kids already got. All right, speaking of that, we got the tree up in the living room already. My mom, my mother and my grandmother have a competition every year who can get up the earliest. My grandmother won, by the way. She had it up a day after Halloween. I'm like, oh, Graham, that's even too early for us, really. And then my mom's like, oh yeah, hold my beer. So she went and fucking set up. She fucking set up the living room with a little one on top of the dog's cage, so he can't eat it.
Not yet, because it's not big enough.
That's right. Not yet. He will be next year. He's gonna eat that shit. She set up the tree out on the deck on the patio, out in the back, and ran garland along the rails and stuff. And she tied it to the thing and decorated it all up. And then the kids threw 2 trees downstairs in the game room. And they decorated them up and put garland. I'm like, so we got 4 fucking Christmas trees in the house this year. And it's not even fucking December, people. No, welcome to my life.
I wait. You know me.
I do. I know. And
I have started my Christmas shopping though.
Yes. Oh, you have to. You have to, because the way shipping is, if you're not
I don't do a lot of online shopping. Mm-hmm. I did do some this year.
Right.
One was from you can find it at digitalzone.com.
Oh yeah.
I did a little shopping there.
You went on the little store?
I did a little shopping there, and I had to reserve because they are not available anymore. Have you heard of the Rock Block?
Rock Block.
Now the Rock Block is an amazing invention. it was on Shark Tank, I guess.
Okay.
And what it is you can put a record on the table.
Right.
Like just put your Jethro Tull thick as a brick, lay it on the kitchen table,
right.
And the Rock Block is a device that sits on your record and spins around it. And it has an internal speaker. Also, you could connect your Rock Block to a Bluetooth speaker, and it will play any record wherever the hell you want.
Oh,
$89 these things costed. And I reserved a couple of them.
Oh,
because they're not in stock right now. But at least you could reserve them, unlike an Xbox.
Oh,
I don't understand Xbox. Now I can reserve with $100 a Tesla Cybertruck. Yep, I could get me one of them for $100 right now. I could get my name on a list.
Right.
I might not have it for like 7 years, but I'll at least be there, and I can at least put some money aside, because actually it's cheaper than a lot of other trucks.
Yeah.
But I cannot reserve an Xbox. Why not? Why can I not get put on a list somewhere that says when they are available? I don't care if it's 3 years from now, but I will have my Xbox. Yeah. Instead, I got to keep checking randomly just for them to hurt my feelings and say that they're out of stock in their 5 retailers.
Yeah. Xbox seems to have an issue with that. Same with PlayStation, by the way. Try to get a PS5.
Well, the PlayStations, at least though, with their PlayStation members,
right?
They actually sent emails to saying, "Hey, would you like to reserve one?"
Nintendo did that shit too for the Switches.
Yeah, Xbox, none of that shit.
No.
And the reason I found out a reason why that the X's went so fast.
Okay.
One, now because of the shipping and the materials and all that stuff. But people bought them up to use as data mining devices.
Okay.
Like people bought up hundreds of these things to basically put into a room and mine cryptocurrency.
Jesus Christ. See, I don't know about that cryptocurrency. It seems really easy to fuck with.
Yeah, it is really easy to fuck with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, the processing power to actually mine Bitcoin,
right?
Like to mine the insignificant 0.9% of
has anybody been
pennies that are all over the world takes, I guess, an extreme amount of processing power.
I'm sure. Has anybody ever collected out on that shit?
Well, yeah. There's plenty of people that
like,
have
I've never heard of
money in crypto and Bitcoin.
We got to talk to Bitcoin. I just don't know it.
Congratulations to him. He it looks like that he just signed the papers on the house. Closing looks to be in about 2 weeks.
Congrats.
After about just 2 or 3 days ago, it looks like everything was going to fall through.
Oh my God. I've been there, dude.
Yeah, everything looked like it was going to fall through the floor, and ended up getting it at a lower than retail price.
Good call. Good. Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm very happy for him.
And he'll be a neighbor of ours as well. I think over in Leeds.
Leeds? Oh, dude.
Lovely Leeds.
You're going to be dead center of me and Zane.
Yeah. I kept thinking I was going to come visit you today while I was out visiting Railroad Ray, but I realized that it's actually quite far.
It is. It's
because
not.
He is really close to Coxsackie when it comes down to it.
Gotcha.
It's like driving through the back roads. It doesn't seem that far, but I'm like, oh shit, I'm still like 15 minutes from Greenville, and then I'm like, then it's like another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah.
Actually, I've come to find out it takes roughly 7.5 minutes to get to Greenville from our house.
Really?
Yeah.
Seems like.
To tops anyway.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we're playing no music today.
Yeah, no music.
I was about ready to go. Okay, let's get to our first song.
We are talking.
Myself.
I am going to give the website though, so people can go and find us there at www.digitalzoneent.com. That is www.digitalzoneent.com. We are going to have Andre Gower joining us roughly in an hour or so, maybe less, half hour. Sorry, it's 7:30. Wow. Okay. At time of recording, it's 7:30. And you're going to hear from my good friend Lexi and Nikki Sombrero. And we're going to be talking about how Lexi has the greatest job in the fucking world, getting to be a tester and working in higher ups and with the owners of a dispensary out in California, and talking about how they opened up during the pandemic and how it went and how they are actually turning a profit and doing very, very well. So
it's hard not to turn a profit when you're selling marijuana.
It is very hard not to turn it. I mean, it is a legal dispensary. They do the legal bud and the medical bud, so they do both. But I'll have her talk about that later. Zane, we're talking about Nicolas Cage.
All right, let's get right into it here.
We have wasted enough time.
I'm going to start with a movie that I just recently watched. I spent $7 on it, called The Prisoners of Ghostland. Now, a lot of people are saying, Nicolas Cage, Prisoners of Ghostland. What is this? Well, if you don't have Shudder, it really hasn't been promoted very well.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you, the Nicolas Cage, he plays a bank robber in Samurai Town. Yes, that the world is pretty fucked up here. We don't really know if this is Earth or some random place. It kind of seems to be in the desert, but there's a samurai Western town in this place, and him and a man named Psycho are bank robbers.
Oh.
And they could never catch Nick Cage, never could, until a bank robbery goes wrong, and his buddy Psycho starts shooting the place up. And, kills a couple of kids, I guess.
Uh-oh.
And Nick Cage runs. He runs away. And then you don't really realize it, but then years have passed. And they got him. They got that Nick Cage. Oh, yes. And Bill Moseley, if you don't know, he's from the Devil's Reject series, House of a Thousand Corpses, plays Otis, if you don't know. He's also in Snowpiercer.
Yes.
A couple other films. Bill Moseley's great.
Yeah.
He commands anything that he's in, and he doesn't overact it, but he plays a Colonel Sanders-esque governor of Samurai Town.
All right.
Now, his daughter, or Darlin, as he called her, Bernice, has gone missing. Now, he's got lots of geishas, lots of girls. They all fawn over him because it seems that Bill Moseley is the master of time.
Master of time.
Now, why? You don't really understand.
Right.
Nor is this plot very, very
gone into.
It leaves a lot to the interpretation of the mind.
Okay.
But he says, Nick Cage, you a bad man, and I need you to find Bernice.
Okay.
Now, to make sure you don't just run away, I'm going to fit you with this special suit that I made. He likes black leather. Oh, yes.
Who doesn't?
So he gives Nick Cage a black leather suit that has explosives in both arms. Now, these explosives will go off if he shows harm towards Bernice. Like, so if he gets frustrated or angry with her and believes that he will do violence against her.
So I believe she's hard to deal with. Is that what he's trying to say? Is it?
Well, you know, Nick Cage is a bad man. He might smack a lady around, might want to have her his way with her.
So he went all Suicide Squad with him. And...
This is very Suicide Squad-esque.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. There are bombs around his neck.
Right.
And those, and may I mention 2 on his testicles.
2 on, see, no. I would definitely not fuck up that.
So, and he has 5 days, and he will die after 2 days if he does not get Bernice and her talk into his special suit. It will only recognize her voice.
So he can't fuck around at all then. This dude's like, no, you're gonna die one way or another.
And he sets off. Now he's supposed to set off in a Toyota Celica.
Okay.
Instead, he takes a bicycle.
All right, that's very Nick Cage thing to do.
But so now you never really understand why this happens, but they leave Samurai Town, and then the Ghostland people just kind of show up and beat him up. He ruins his car. They're like ghosts of Ghostland,
and they just beat him up.
Yep, and he is found by the Rat Pack. Not Sammy
Dean,
but
I thought they were about to start crooning
and brings them to the Ghostlands. Now, the Ghostlands is a community of people that have all had something taken from them by the ghosts.
Oh.
Now, I'm not going to explain all of the reasons why they're there or how they get trapped, because honestly, it don't make a lot of sense. But you do know that they have to stop this clock from moving for some reason or another.
Okay.
It has something to do with the governor's power.
Oh, shit.
So he finds Bernice. Bernice has lost her voice.
Oh, shit.
Oh, hard to talk into the suit if you can't talk.
That's right.
But, you know, things happen. Nick Cage loses a testicle.
Oh, no.
You know,
poor guy.
Gets her back. Violence ensues. You know, it's a movie. Now
it's a movie.
A lot happens.
They definitely made it. It's a movie.
Yep. Now, I will give this movie a solid 3.
Okay.
I will give Nick Cage a solid 4.5 in Nick Cage style.
All right.
Because he is once again over the top, crazy as a loon,
He's
violent as a son of a bitch. And what's not to love? But the movie itself, it's got some holes. It's got some holes.
It's got some holes.
It could have been a little better with a little better script and maybe explain why some of these things happen. But that is Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Okay, so that's a weird movie, and
Yep.
I'm gonna have to watch it now because Nick Cage losing a testicle is something I kind of want to see, and I don't know why. All right, so that's one of his newer ones, right?
That is his newest.
That's his newest one, right?
Newest movie out. Now,
all right.
There's been a release of The Tiger King season 2.
Oh God.
Oh yes, on the Netflix.
Yes, I heard.
There. I haven't watched it yet because I have fallen into a couple of shows that I'm watching now.
Yeah.
But I've heard rumors that there will be a movie, and Nick Cage will be that man.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
I thought Buff Bagwell would have made a good Tiger King. Remember Buff Bagwell? Buff the Stud. I can see him. I can see him as my.
I don't know. I can see
Nick Cage. I can see him too.
Good.
He's gonna have to work out a little bit, man, because Tiger King was, he's a.
Not really.
No, he's not.
No. I think Nick Cage might have.
I think he might. Yeah, he might. I think he might be good.
So why don't you talk about your favorite there? Why don't you talk about Willy's Wonderland?
Willy's Wonderland. All right, people. Look, you kids might know it as Five Nights at Freddy's because that's basically what it is. It was
that shit was scary.
It was supposed to be the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, but there was too many, things going on with the creator of it and whatnot. But Nick Cage plays a janitor at a it's broke down, right? Like they don't actually do. I can't remember if it was broke down or if the town was.
They
I know the town
car.
was right.
He's got a fast car.
He's got a fast car,
and it breaks.
Right.
I think he pops a tire or something. And needs to bring it to the shop. And
Exactly.
They're like, it's gonna be like 12 days.
It's the typical, redneck. You get lost in a redneck town, and then the whole town's in on it type shit. You know what I mean? Where the guys, the mechanic's like, all right, it's gonna be like a month for you to get your car back. For something that takes like 3 hours of fucking work. And, he's got all the parts in the back. Anyway, so he's like, you're going to have to stay in town. And he's like, well, I might as well get a job. By the way, Nick Cage don't say a fucking word in this whole movie. Did I mention that? He doesn't say a thing. And it's
according to the Rotten Tomatoes, they have this at its number 33 movie out of the 88 that they have listed.
All right. You know what? I don't know. I got to see.
Higher. I'd rate it higher.
I'd rate it in his top 10. I'd go top 10. But all right. So he gets stuck in this town. So he's like, he starts talking to the mayor and the sheriff and all that. And they're like, well, we need somebody to clean up here and make sure, they don't tell him the history of the place. And apparently a lot of kids were murdered and because of the animatronics. Were they people in suits at the time? Or were they always robots? Because I don't remember.
They were always robots.
They were always
people's souls.
Yes, they have people's souls, which is why they said, if you're familiar with the games Five Nights at Freddy, it's basically the plot to that game. But Nicolas Cage plays a badass janitor, mute, I'm assuming, or he just doesn't want to talk.
A quiet loner.
A quiet loner. That's a very good way to put it. And basically, these animatronics come to life, and they try to, kill whoever goes into that building at night. Kids, adults, whatever. And Nick Cage ends up taking them all out, killing all the animatronics one by one, and basically just sweeps them off into a fucking room, cleans up every room after he's done murdering all the fucking, the animatronics, and then ends up at the end, taking some of the kids with him that he met with him and then left. Like it's a weird fucking movie that shouldn't work at all, but it does. And if you like Nick Cage weird, you're gonna like this movie. That's all I'm saying. It's really not much you can go into on it. That's basically the plot.
One of the critics of the Hollywood Reporter said, at this point, Cage's movies don't have to be reviewed, but rather stamped with an official certification of weirdness.
Great. That's a great fucking. That is it.
That is a fine review.
That is definitely a fine review. I agree with that 100% because like I said, Willy's Wonderland's weird. If you can go find it. It's definitely one to watch because they are going to make a sequel. He was talking about it.
Yeah. So there's a couple of I will talk about one of his lowest rated films.
Okay.
Now, which is Grand Isle. According to this, the 2019 film has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. It says no consensus yet. Now, why does it have no consensus? I don't know. It's a movie. I thought the Rotten Tomatoes reviewed fucking everything.
I thought they saw everything.
It's not bad. He plays a good Vietnam war guy.
Okay.
His wife is nuts. They be hiding children in the basement. His wife is making passes at this young fella. A storm comes. The boy can't leave. He decides, I guess I'm spending the night with these crazy bastards. He's got himself a girlfriend, so he's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. But the wife is she's a hottie and she's gonna get what she wants. So she get what she wants.
Get what she wants.
And then he's like, oh man, now I gotta kill you because that's my wife, and you were ungentlemanly with her. And they want to kill each other, like Nick Cage and his wife, and they want to both kill like this guy. And yep, it's a movie, all right.
So it's like the War of the Roses, almost. Like that's
that's Zane's synopsis.
All right.
Now he plays a character named Walter in this film.
Walter.
Yep, Walter. Now Walter and his neglected wife lure a young stranger into their Victorian home to escape from a hurricane. When a man is charged with murder by Detective Jones, he must reveal the couple's wicked secrets to save himself.
Yeah,
I think my review was better.
I think it was.
I think my synopsis really drove home the point.
I think you captured it. That was good. Hey, Zay, have you seen Vampire's Kiss?
I want to say I have, but honestly, I don't remember.
It was a late 80s movie. He played a publishing executive, and he had a one night stand with a neck biter who we thought was a vampire. And so she just really liked to I don't think there was a real vampire in the movie. I think it was all Nick Cage thinking he was turning into a vampire the whole movie.
Just eating people?
Just like going crazy, acting all fucking like letting the mania take over because he's getting all into his own head. So it's one of those like you don't know if he really is and you don't know if he isn't because they don't really go into if it's a real vampire. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like a supernatural movie. It's what I'm saying. It's just a movie played with a possibility of being a supernatural movie. So that's the only way I can really explain that one. And it's Nick Cage being a total fucking whack job.
Trying to find it on my list here about what they rated this one as.
Vampire's Kiss is probably way low.
I don't think so.
Because I think it's one of his earlier, not earlier, but 80s.
Actually, 61 at 35.
Okay.
So Willy's Wonderland beat out Vampire's Kiss.
Oh shit. All right. Well, I could I could see that.
So he's a vampire. He's a vampire. Oh, he's a vampire.
Yeah, but he's I don't remember him actually being a vampire. I can't. Then again, it's been a long time since I've seen the movie.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know if I've seen this one, and I would watch it again.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna watch it again.
Well, as you know, I've made it my life's work.
have.
My life's work is to watch all of these films.
Well, if you don't watch that one by Thanksgiving, I think we'll get that one on Thanksgiving and pop that one on.
Yeah, so he plays Peter, it seems.
Okay.
And seems to be making as much money and sleeping with as many women as possible. That's his life goals.
That's his life goals. Those are good goals to have. Good goals to have.
Yep. After a typical night of soaring trendy bars for some action. Now, Peter, he manages to take home sexy Rachel, played by Jennifer Beals, who bites him on the neck while, they're doing bow chicka bow wow.
Bow chicka wow.
The next day, Peter is certain he is now a vampire and not just kinky sex.
Not just
kinky. And it wasn't just kinky sex that he was, he's a vampire. No one shares his point of view, and he hasn't changed physically.
He dons fake fangs
and begins stalking women.
See, I told you, like,
sounds fun.
Yeah, like
I definitely don't think I've seen this film.
Yeah, I remember seeing it possibly when it came out. Even like, my dad was a Nick Cage fan. My mom was like, Moonstruck was her favorite movie forever.
Yeah, one of Liz's favorites is Raising Arizona, which I still am upset that I got that one wrong. But I haven't seen that film since I was a kid.
Dude, I haven't seen most of his movies since like the ones that I've seen in a long time. Like,
so I will tell you a little bit about another one of his newest films.
Okay.
Here. It is actually rated number 2 on the list right now.
Okay, on like the movie scale or the weirdness scale?
No, this is number 2. This getting an Oscar buzz over this film.
Shit, all right.
Pig. Now I think I did speak about Pig a little.
You mentioned it a little
week.
bit. Mentioned a little bit.
He is a hermit who lives out in the woods, whose only contact to the world is this young fella who is a truffle dealer. And they live in the food fancy city of Portland, Oregon.
Portland.
They're the opposite of Boston.
Ogden. Yeah, they live out in Ogden.
And so he's got himself a truffle pig.
Okay.
And these two meth heads steal his truffle pig.
Of course,
why did they steal
meth heads do.
Truffle pig?
Why?
Because they were paid to do so by another truffle dealer. Now, the other truffle dealer is his truffle dealer's father. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry if I'm ruining your film there.
Stop.
But it's not really about that. It's about a man who was once seen larger than life as a chef, the best chef of Portland. Nobody could touch him.
Best truffle chef in all of Portland.
And how he goes back into society to find his pig. But his pig is really symbolizing what he has lost.
Oh.
Not only spiritually, but physically.
Oh.
I won't go into it more than that because honestly, it is a great film and
sounds like an art piece.
It wasn't as weird as I expected it to be. And I expected this one, guys. I rented this. Liz actually went out of her way to Coxsackie to rent this film for me.
Oh, she went all the way to the fucking Coxsackie Red
the
Box?
Coxsackie Red Box to get this one.
Nice.
Because they did not have it here in town.
You couldn't order it on anything?
I probably could have, but as I told you, I just ordered my first film, and it was Prisoners of the Ghostland.
That's right.
But and Redbox, you cannot beat a price of Redbox movie.
No, you can't.
$185.
Especially since you can't rent.
And I also get points, and I'm part of the Redbox faction, and I'm thinking about buying stock in them, but I really don't think it's worth it because they're probably not going to make it.
They do.
But I do love the Redbox.
Right? Yeah.
No, well, they used to.
I know they used to.
Seen the ones. I know in Walmart they did.
Yeah.
But it's a good film. He plays a very good role in it. It's not crazy Nick Cage. It's weird Nick Cage. It's melancholy Nick Cage.
Okay.
It's old, wise sage Nick Cage who remembers every meal he's ever cooked for every person he's ever cooked it for.
Wow.
But it's heartfelt. It will make you cry. It's hands down. He's getting Oscar buzz over it. Number 2. The only movie to beat this one out, according to Rotten Tomatoes, is honestly a movie that I cannot give him any credit for, really.
Which movie was the one that beat it?
Spider-Man.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Now, I really can't say that. I was like,
but he was Spider-Man Noir. That was all he was.
Yeah. So I don't see that really. I would definitely put Pig over this as a Nick Cage film.
Right, because this was definitely...
The voice acting is different. And
that was an ensemble cast, though.
Yeah, and he does a great job. And Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie ever made.
100%, hands down.
The animation, the story, everything comes together in that film.
Yeah.
It takes silly action, sorrow. It really mixes it all very well together.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Return to Home. Far From Home. I still haven't seen Far From Home.
Man. It's actually really good.
I don't understand why. Is that still like a Fox-owned movie?
That one is technically,
because I cannot seem to get those ones on any server. You know,
they're not on the Disney yet.
No,
huh?
But you know what I think they are on? I think I've just learned that there is an on-demand feature on Sling.
Yes,
and there's also a record feature.
Yes.
Yeah, I had to record AEW the first hour the other week, which. Yep. Because Survivor's on the same night,
yes,
so there's conflict in the old Douglas household. God forbid we miss an episode of Survivor,
right? Like you couldn't stream that one first.
No, you can't actually. Not the new season. No, they have like 40 seasons available on all types of streaming platforms, but not seasons 41 through 44, unless you've got Paramount Plus.
Oh, okay.
Then you could stream the newest episode.
You see, Paramount Plus is iffy because they got all the Nickelodeon shows that I liked back in the day too. So I'm like, no, it's not worth it. We already got Disney.
Let me see. We're just gonna go through here. You just stop me.
Oh, no,
I don't think I've never seen Red Rock West.
Red Rock West, I seen once, and that was a long.
I've never seen it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But it's number 3 on their list.
Okay, from what I remember, it was decent. It wasn't anything like outstanding with him. You know what I mean? Like he didn't have a memorable performance. Call it that way. It was just Nick Cage, trying to be normal actor at that point.
Well, that ain't good.
Right, exactly.
But even when he was trying to be normal, I was leaving Las Vegas. He's absolutely nuts.
Oh God, yeah.
Well, Face Off, he's absolutely crazy, which is our next movie. But Moonstruck, he was a nut job in.
He was a nut job in it with one hand. A baker with one hand.
Yep.
That's right. He was a baker. When I keep wanting to
say,
he
cut off his own hand in that or fingers?
I can't remember if he did it or it got caught in a machine or something like that. But they didn't show it, obviously.
But once again, Moonstruck is another one I can't really talk about because it has been so long. Yes. I can remember some bits and pieces of it, but I couldn't tell you.
My mom could sit here for 3 hours telling you everything about that movie, but she ain't here. Face Off. Best fucking movie, but he was playing John Travolta almost the whole movie, and it was great. And John Travolta was playing Nicolas Cage the whole movie almost, and it was great. I like them in that. I would watch a Face Off too if they made it.
See, I liked it. It was good, but I don't give it as much credit as other people do.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I really actually like the beginning when they don't have their faces switched.
Yeah.
I think once the face switch happens, it kind of gets a little. I'm like, it's just another action film.
Right.
Like, it's like what is it, like, Freaky Friday?
Yeah.
With guns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, okay, I can see that. But I was a fan. I think mainly it's nostalgia for me though, because at that time period, John Travolta was out with like Get Shorty and Pulp Fiction and all them. You know what I mean? Like that was his big comeback decade, like the early '90s or late '90s, and I think that and Nicolas Cage was just. Him being crazy as fucking that role, like I think that's one of the ones that actually got me hooked on him. Was Face Off. I think I watched it like 8 times in a row, like 1 or 2 times.
It wasn't released till streaming. Okay.
Yeah,
like,
no.
2007. I feel like that's all.
No, that Face Off came out in '97 or '98, something like that.
I'm surprised it says release date streaming. Why doesn't it give me a release date? Whatever.
Anyway.
I think I also have something against John Woo. I think I do.
Really?
I think I do. I am not a fan of any of the John Wick movies.
Really?
I think they're terrible.
All right. No,
I think they're absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
I can understand the first one a little bit. You killed their dog.
Yeah, I can understand.
But,
yeah.
But he's so angry that he has to do it for 2 more movies.
And another one. There's another one coming out. That's gonna be. Yeah. All right, so whatever. That Face Off movie was, it was one of my not favorites, but it's one I could watch, and I'd watch a second one.
How about Adaptation? I don't think I've ever seen this.
Never.
I do believe that he won an Oscar, or no, I think.
What's the synopsis in this one? Because maybe I did, I just don't remember the name. There's a lot of movies that I've seen of his that I probably don't remember.
He plays Charlie, a confused LA screenwriter, overwhelmed by feelings of inadequacy and sexual frustration, of course.
Of course.
Self-loathing and by screenwriting ambitions of his freeloading twin brother Donald, who's Nicolas Cage.
Oh,
wait, he plays both? He does, because it's a twin brother.
Oh, I gotta watch this.
Oh, man.
How come I haven't seen this?
It's Charlie and Donald. Both by Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
It's like a goddamn Dr. Strangelove.
Hell yeah.
While struggling to adapt, The Orchid Thief, which is a book, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Played by Meryl Streep. Charlie. It says Kaufman's lifespan, but we'll say Charlie. Or maybe it was Donald. I don't know. Life spins from pathetic to bizarre. Now, this all sound pretty good. The lives of Kaufman's Orleans book becomes strangely intermingled as each one searches for passion with each other. Oh, that sounds all right. That sounds all right. And Meryl Streep, I like me some Meryl Streep.
I'm down to watch anything with Nicolas Cage playing twins. So,
yep. Raising Arizona,
great movie. Great movie.
He takes care of a baby.
He does.
He's got a mustache.
Yes, he does. And a pseudo mullet.
Yep.
And it's great.
And the next con meets the next cop. And hilarity ensues,
That's
of course.
It. They follow that very common trope. Put a baby, put an ex-con or a con and a cop. You're good. That's gold.
And John Goodman's in it.
And it got a 91%.
91%. Now, honestly, I can see why, because that is like when you're talking about 80s action comedies.
Yes.
It's in there. It's in there. It's right up there with Lethal Weapon.
Oh, yeah. Oh no, I agree with that 100%. That's great. Comparison actually.
Yeah, I can't say it's like Police Academy though, because it's not.
Police Academy is on a whole other level.
Somehow I don't know that he was in this movie, this Teen Titans.
Yes, he was. He was movie. Superman.
Oh yeah. Oh,
he finally got to play
Superman. He was in Superman.
Yeah.
Now I gotta tell you, I don't like Teen Titans Go.
I'm not a big fan of the Teen Titans Go. I mean, I do when
the first Teen Titans animated series. Phenomenal.
Great.
So why they turned it into this garbage, it was beyond me.
I do like though that it's in continuity.
It is. That's the problem. They actually switched it over. We're just gonna change this some, and it's the same show.
It is definitely the same.
We're gonna keep the storyline, but we're gonna completely change how the atmosphere, and the vibe of this whole thing is.
Yeah. No, but he played Superman in that, and honestly, he's very good at. He finally got to play Superman, people.
Now, this is one that I can honestly tell you, and this is where people are gonna be like, "How are you gonna have a Nicolas Cage November, Zane, and you've never seen Leaving Las Vegas?" Because I've never actually seen.
You've never actually seen it.
I've never actually watched it all. There's no way I have. Because I would remember.
You would remember it. Yeah. Yeah, you should definitely take a look at that movie. Because that was actually one of the first movies that I saw that I really liked.
He won the Oscar for this.
He did, and I really liked Elizabeth Shue in that movie too. She played very well off of him. It's really good. You should definitely watch it.
I thought that was what's her name? Alicia Silverstone.
Oh no!
Just looking at the picture.
Just actually, you can if you just take a glance.
I
you.
love me some Alicia
Yeah, I do too.
Clueless is a movie that I can watch over and over and over again.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how many times.
And she looked good in that back
You know?
suit too.
Now, things got a little iffy when you start fucking your stepbrother.
A little bit.
Kind of.
Little-
But they weren't together. The family wasn't together.
Yeah,
that
but
long.
still,
They just
still.
weren't raised together, you know.
Yeah, but
Paul Rudd, though.
Paul,
Paul
it's
Rudd.
Paul Rudd.
You know, how do you not say
Right.
How do you say no to Paul Rudd?
Ryan Beck's own Paul Rudd.
No.
Sexiest man alive.
Own
Paul Rudd.
Sammy's chocolate shop.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Local man, sexiest man alive. There you go, Paul Rudd.
And he's a nice guy.
He is a very nice guy.
I do.
You know,
I do.
I
Yeah,
would.
for some head,
Okay,
I'd probably oblige.
It's Paul Rudd. Come on now. I wouldn't even ask for some of that chocolate.
Yep. Now the next one surprises me. I had no idea they actually put Color Out of Space in the top 10.
I've never seen.
This is another fairly new one. Just came out 2019. I watched this one 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
You know, and it's based off of I want to say H.G. Wells, not H.G. Wells, H.P. Lovecraft.
Okay.
One of his short stories in the same name. Color Out of Space is it's about an alien life form that comes down in the form of a meteor that interacts with technology to basically block all communication, and it kind of does something funny to the water.
Okay.
And slowly but surely takes out this whole town. And the problem is with this town that they're in, they want to build this huge reservoir, this new, water and power infrastructure that's going to supply big cities and everything with the water from their town. But it seems that this life form infects the water, and by doing so, infects its inhabitants and changes them. It changes them to now. Tommy Chong is in this film. He plays a great character who has a cat named G-Spot.
Oh, man.
Oh yes, cat named G-Spot. Now, if you know any of Lovecraft stuff, that he loved cats.
Oh, yeah.
And there is always a cat in every one of his stories. And G-Spot is great. It's really, it does not fail.
Right. See, it must be fate. Talk about Tommy Chong, because our guest later on, Lexi, actually told a story while we were talking about her smoking with Tommy Chong. It's kind of funny. So, and she outsmoked him, according to her.
Well,
he's old now. He doesn't smoke as much as they, know.
Smoking.
And so I'll let her talk about that. Anyway, keep going. I just had to bring that up while his name was fresh.
Once again, another one that I have not seen, because I actually wanted to see the first one, which I've watched parts of, and it's a fucking nutty film.
Right.
Bad Lieutenant, the first one.
Right.
But this is Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call.
Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call. Isn't that a restaurant in Catskill?
It is. Port of Call, New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is got him and.
Oh, wait. Looks like we have a breakthrough coming in from Andre Gower. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Zane.
You did, though.
I did.
You did cut me off.
I did.
You cut me off right in the middle of Bad Lieutenant.
I did, and I'm sorry. We're gonna have to pick that up as soon as.
That's all right. Well, I actually haven't
there
seen
he
it.
is.
I haven't seen Joe either.
You haven't seen Joe?
But go ahead, introduce
All right.
our guest.
Well, I will as soon as he connects to the audio, and I see him now. Can you hear me, sir?
I can.
All right, great. Well, everybody, thanks for joining us again. If you didn't notice, man just broke in here is Mr. Andre Gower, and he's been on the show before. He is, if you've probably seen him when he was, a kid in a movie called Monster Squad. And if not, you've seen him now promoting the shit out of Wolfmans Got Nards, a documentary about it. And
I actually really liked that documentary. I think I liked it more than Monster Squad, honestly.
Wow. Okay, I'll take that. We'll take that. We'll take that.
Right. So now I wanted to have you on mainly, sir, because you had a little issue, recently. And would you like to talk about it? I know you had
Sure.
would you like how are you feeling for one? How you feeling?
I'm actually feeling pretty good. It's been 4 months and change, I think now. For those who don't know, I had a massive heart attack on July 3rd. And that sucker almost took me out. Luckily, I mean, a lot of things conspired in my favor that Saturday morning to allow me to make it through that hour. That's really all it was. And I got to where I needed to be, luckily mainly because of my buddy that I was with, and then the help that I got immediately that I needed. But I'm feeling pretty good. I've had a few checkups. I actually had my first and latest cardiologist kind of deep testing just yesterday, in fact, or the day before. No, yesterday. Okay. And scans, echoes, EKGs, nuclear stress test where they inject you with a radioactive isotope and kind of see how the blood flow's working in your heart regions. And all of that, apparently, according to my cardiologist, looks really good. So going from this massive event that, was almost it to, recovering over the last couple of months and taking it easy and being, kind of vigilant and trying not to overdo it, which is really hard for me to do. That's really kind of the biggest challenge, is for me to not, kind of go overboard with stuff. But I actually just got back from traveling for like 6 weeks. Yeah. I was on the road for 6 weeks doing a bunch of appearances and conventions, and it was great.
Did you have like any knowledge beforehand of like anything wrong that might have set it off, or was it just like out of the blue?
I think it's one of those things which is sort of kind of what I like to, talk about or let people know. It's real easy to look back, in hindsight or Monday morning quarterback and go, oh, maybe that was a signal, or maybe that was a thing that I should have paid more attention to, or paid more weight to this, kind of feeling or this reaction or something. Right. Really the kind of main thing that I noticed was I wasn't as active as I would want to be over, the last year. And so when I would be active, I'd be like, wow, I'm just getting old. I don't have my wind, or, I'm just getting old. And, maybe that, wasn't all of it. One thing that I did notice all year is that I had some annoying fluid retention that I just couldn't really delete, right, or get rid of. And I thought that was just I'm just out of shape. I'm eating okay, but I'm not really kind of like burning these calories, so to speak, or being as active as I need to be. But I realized that this fluid wasn't like fat, because it was like changing every day, like my fluid, like in my face a little bit, around my waist. And ironically, right after my heart attack and I got out of the hospital, like 60-70% of that fluid retention was gone. I think what it was is I had just I had some blockage. I had some less than optimal output of my heart, that would clear everything out, that would be helpful and optimal. That was maybe a thing. I'm not diagnosing anybody here, of course, but it's and then if you feel weird things, or you're out of breath, or you just don't feel right, like my thing now is like, hey, go get it checked. You should get checked out regularly anyway, which is actually something that I've been upfront and saying that I haven't been over the last couple of years. I've just been lazy is a part of it, a little undisciplined, distracted by a few other things. I don't want to blame, pandemic and shutdown and things, but, a lot of stuff got out of whack during that time. just go get something looked at. I mean, what does it cost you? A couple hours and an appointment. Very minor things can can lead to things down the road, and simple checkups and just getting something looked at or scanned or paid attention to can make a big difference.
Well, I'm glad you're okay, man. Like, really, like it put a shock to me. Like when I heard that you had a heart attack, I was like, this dude's not much older than me, man. And I'm like, that scared the shit out of me for a minute. I'm like, I could go any day. I could go. This ain't right. I'm neurotic. I can't. I hear something like that, and I'm like, oh, what about me? No.
Right. Well, and thanks. I appreciate. I'm glad I feel better and able to come out the other side of that, weird Saturday morning and talk about it. But yeah, you never know. I mean, you just, it's, this is not the thing that I thought would jump up and kind of try to take me out. I thought it would be, the meteor or like, a rogue transit bus or something. But, this thing's that jumped up and went, I got you today.
I'm still stuck on the radioactive part.
Yes.
Its powers. Have you found that you can walk on walls, perhaps shoot spider webs from weird areas?
Well, that's what I'm trying to determine. Like I said, it was just yesterday. I'm actually currently sitting in the dark, and so I think I'm just radiating all this light right now. So it's like there's no power on in the house right now. It's just me.
Also, you mentioned though that you've been touring, doing a lot of cons and stuff again. How does it feel to be back out there, promoting and just seeing the people, seeing the fans?
Despite the world shutting down for a year and a half or almost 2 years now, and then going through this kind of heart attack scare, it feels awesome. It would probably be ramped up. I think everybody's happy that we're able to go out and do things and see movies or go to a concert or go to a show or the grocery store. But to go to something like a convention or a screening or a film festival, although being cautious and taking precautions and washing your hands and not licking on other people like you would normally do on a regular basis.
I myself trying not to lick on people. It's really hard.
That's true. Like people, doorknobs, handrails,
Windows,
airline tray tables, just don't lick those anymore. Just stop.
Damn, it's gonna be hard, but
but no, it actually felt great because I think it was sort of a coming together of both sides of the world. Like personally being able to get out and see people and celebrate not being in an urn somewhere, and then the people kind of celebrating after being kind of shut in for so long. It was a very cool kind of experience for those number of weeks, and can't wait to continue that going forward because we're already booking the next appearances.
Yeah, I was about to say, do you have anything upcoming that you're going to be doing?
Not on the books that's announceable, but stay tuned. I'll let you know. Follow the socials. But some good shows with some big names. Next year. Conventions always like anniversary years, and either fortunately or unfortunately, we're coming up on another anniversary year for Monster Squad. So it rhymes with 35.
Oh my God.
And so it's crazy. So I think a lot of people are jazzed about that. Not only not being able to see anybody for the last year or two and all these, shows being shut down. I think we'll have a pretty good year in 22.
Nice. Now, this is Nicolas Cage month here.
Nick Cage
November here on the podcast, and I was curious as to, now you've been in the game for a while. You've obviously seen a Nick Cage movie or two.
I have.
Now,
like, no, I've never heard of
like,
him.
never heard of him.
Oddly,
Never.
Who is this Nicholas that you speak?
Who is this guy?
What's your go-to Nick Cage movie?
Oh, good grief. It's either got to be Valley Girl or Leaving Las Vegas.
Dude, sorry, we were just talking about Leaving Las Vegas.
I haven't seen it.
He hasn't seen it yet, and this man is like a Nick Cage.
I made it my life's purpose
Really?
to watch all 88 films.
that he's credited for anyway. Now, Valley Girl is one of mine because I thought that he played the punker, I guess, pretty well back then, and him and oh God, what was the lead girl's name? Jesus. Hold on. He's got this.
Come on.
Oh, I can't remember. No, I can't remember.
You know it. You know it.
It was it Moon Unit Zappa?
No, the song, her song was in
her.
it.
Yeah. God, oh fuck.
Deborah Foreman.
That's it.
Deborah Foreman.
God damn it. Yeah. No, see, I haven't seen that movie forever, but I used to watch that movie a lot. My mom, like I was telling him, was in love with Moonstruck. She watched it like a million times.
Well, you asked about my favorite Nick Cage movie or movies, and I say Valley Girl and Leaving Las Vegas. I'm not quite sure it's because of Nick Cage. It may be because of Deborah Foreman and Elizabeth Shue. Those could definitely be the reason.
That's a good call. Yeah, I was also telling him before, Elizabeth Shue was one of my favorite movies that she was in, next to Adventures.
Oh.
So really dating myself. Oh yeah, what is it? Oh, sorry, he's on his the IMDb page or one of these pages here.
Well, I had to find out more about who that was.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, he just
Who? Deborah Foreman. Oh,
yeah.
Deborah Foreman. Delish.
Yes.
Deborah is Italian for delish.
Yes.
No, she's awesome. She's in a ton of your favorite movies of an era, and I've got to be at a couple shows that she's at.
Oh, really?
The presence, and you're like, oh, that's Deborah Foreman.
Have you ever had any interactions with Nick Cage at all? Anywhere?
Not that I can recall. I'm sure there was like years and years ago, but nothing too recent. That would be it'd be kind of cool to, I guess, hang out with him now, or is he just
really
like
to hang out with Nick Cage?
I think he's a self-fulfilling prophecy, maybe, of just it's but you got to give credit where credit is due, because he's created his own kind of, I think he's purposely created a cult of personality at a very early stage. But not unlike other people have done the same thing. He has fulfilled that cult of personality by, expanding that, kind of that gravity of what he causes. Whether, most people that are really good, if we're talking about artists, they're all a little mad in the head. And I don't think he's any different. And a lot of people, will probably want to, drag him down or say crazy things like, you know what, you're not him. And if you're going to drag him, then don't ever. I love people that drag people in general that know everything about somebody and can quote their movies or their songs. And I'm like, for someone who you don't really like, everything about, it's really weird. Exactly. If you didn't really like somebody, you should know nothing about them. You'd be like, I refuse.
Yeah.
But hey, loves him and knows nothing about him.
Yes,
I've really just learned in the last month, where I've had to do some investigative work and find out that he did not write a memoir, yet he reads a Nick Cage memoir from one of his own movies where he's having erotic sex and drinking milk.
That's I think that's just Wednesday at the Cage Manor, right?
But now he's getting Oscar buzz for this movie Pig, which
Yeah.
I thought was going to be this wild ride of crazy Nick Cage. Instead, was a very wonderful, well done film.
Yeah, I haven't seen Pig yet, but I have close friends that would never steer you wrong and say, "Holy crap, you've got to see Pig."
Yeah, he was just telling me I haven't seen it yet, so I got to watch that one definitely. So Andre, I really don't want to keep you that long. I really just wanted to check up on you, man, and see how you were doing. Because you've been.
Wait, I come over, I log in, and that's it.
No. I had something else to do. So let's
talk
about
hang out with you for a while.
I mean, this whole thing, right? We were talking about Nick Cage's movies today. Like we all right. That's the only reason I brought up Nick Cage before, because that's all we're doing. We're not even playing music today. We were just talking Nicolas Cage. So,
yeah, we knew that we were having you on today too, as well. So I was like, well, I won't play any movies. I'll just talk about silly things till he comes on. So that's all I've been doing.
But
and Nick Cage is, I guess, silly works. But I think when Nick Cage,
it doesn't sound very, very educated.
I mean, I'm no Nick Cage expert. I just like, what he does in a lot of his stuff. And, I bring up something like Valley Girl. I think Valley Girl hits home because I'm from the Valley, right? You grow up in that, kind of ethos, almost that atmosphere. And what's really interesting about something like Valley Girl, with sort of the vulnerable, like the punk kids, like the cool kids, which turned into the goth kids, which turned into, the whatever kids. But the punks at the time that were kind of the, they turned into alternative in the early 90s. And they were always the kind of offshoots or the different ones. But if you look at most of them, and he does this well in this movie, is they're super vulnerable. And, all of the, like the makeup or the hair or the weird clothes that don't conform is just sort of the, kind of shield, to who they are. And they're trying to connect to something that isn't as easily accessible as kind of the, popped collar on the, Lacoste shirt and the khakis in the Valley and the preppies and the Valley kids. I identified more with the Valley kids than the over the hill city kind of, or the punk crew. And they were much more interesting. Look, the preps and the Valley kids were, that's pretty, I don't say vanilla in a derogatory word, but vanilla, and it's the bland, most out there flavor. It's just so easy.
Yeah.
And I think that's, what happens in kind of culture like that. And the ones that rail against that are really kind of the, rebels, a word that's passed around, but they're just they're like, that's so easy. Like, why wouldn't you be something else? And so I always wanted to be as cool as, maybe the, the greasers or the punks but I was around, the Valley kids more, or the preppies more. And I was preppy for a little bit. I had, I
was going to say, you were pretty much in the middle of the, the whole mall kid explosion, in the
yeah. And 90s. So what are you going to do? I mean, it's tough to not be swallowed up by that. Yeah. I always wish I was kind of cool enough to, not be that, but what I did is I found out that I was independent. I didn't really, jump with 2 feet into, one world or the other. I like to either, I have plenty of pictures where I'm like, what are you wearing? It's like, wow, where did that come from? That makes no sense. I'm like, you know what it did to me? Yep. Like, it was like, I made my own thing. And sometimes I'm part of a group and sometimes I don't fit in. I'm over here on the side by myself. So, it's interesting to look back at that time.
It's funny you say that you lived that, yet here on the East Coast, we didn't know what a Valley Girl was till the movie
came out. Yeah,
till even Clueless came out. Really,
I'll give you that.
Somebody that was younger who didn't know about Valley Girl. But you didn't hear people say "as if" till Elisa Silverstone was saying it, and then it became a thing in 1998.
That's
right.
Yeah, especially in our area too. Like we're from like bumfuck middle of nowhere in like mid-state New York. Not even upstate. We're like mid-state, and like we have nothing but like trees. You have to like look for a beach, honestly. So you ain't finding no beach culture, and everybody around here was pretty country without being country. Like we didn't have we had malls, but our malls were garbage.
they were good malls at the time. Do not talk about our malls.
All right, no, sorry. The Kingston Mall.
I miss you.
Yeah, I do miss the mall. Were you a mall kid? Like, did you hang out in a lot of malls?
Yeah, I did. It was we were hanging out at the Sherman Oaks Galleria before it was the Sherman Oaks Galleria. Before the movie made it famous, or before Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of swung on the balloon in Commando, and kind of at the time that Judd Reinhold was kicking Eric Stoltz out for not wearing a shirt. That's the food court at the Sherman Oaks Galleria. So that's my kind of like second mall. But I grew up in the north end of the Valley, which was like Northridge, Porter Ranch, Granada Hills, and we had the Northridge Mall.
Northridge
And so that was our home base. And then we got to go and be cool and hang out at the Sherman Oaks Galleria.
Nice. Yeah, we had the Kingston Mall, and then we had Crossgates, and then Poughkeepsie.
Yeah, the
Poughkeepsie
Poughkeepsie Gallery, and then you had the Dirt Mall.
That's right, the Dirt Mall. All right,
I got drunk in that mall, and then you could stay in that movie theater for hours.
Yeah,
you could just go in at noon, and you'd bring a bottle in with you, and then you just kind of wake up whatever time when you would just walk out. I don't know if they ever even locked it.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, growing up and going to the mall, especially with my age of that era, I was sort of I would say second class, not in hierarchy, but like the second generation of awesome mall culture. So there was a group ahead, and just because of age. But it's great, back, walk around the mall, and you either ask a girl to go to the mall with you and walk around aimlessly for hours, or you go try to meet girls at the mall, or you hang out with your silly friends and eat bad pizza at the food court. And
Marshall met his wife at a mall.
I did. Me and my wife were both working at the mall when I met each other, and we went from being mall rats to working in the mall to getting married and having 5 children. So
well, that's how it happens. I mean, that doesn't get any more Americana, if you tried. And you mentioned mall rat. I mean, the mall has become such a thing with a generation or two that we make movies about it, literally still almost to this day. And it's sort of weird, me being a regular kid growing up in the Valley and going to the mall with your 6th grade friends or your 7th grade friends, and then I remember, since we were talking about Sherman Oaks Galleria, which is sort of the epicenter, I had to go there was like a big Fox publicity day where myself and a couple other kids and a cast of 21 Jump Street were in the first floor of the mall signing autographs for like 2 hours. And it's so you're just like, this is weird. Like, I was just shopping here a couple of days ago, now I'm signing autographs for the same kids that are lining up to meet all these kids on shows. And not very many people get to do that. So, you got to appreciate that a little bit.
That's funny, man. Like you mentioned 21 Jump Street. Most people would say, how's Johnny Depp in person? I'm going to ask, how's Peter DeLuise in person?
I think I'd actually met Peter years before that doing something I can't remember, but he was actually a nice guy. All those kids were nice. I mean, especially at that time. And Depp only did the show for like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, at the most, I think 2 seasons.
Yeah, and then got replaced by Richard Grieco. Who it was ironic. I was this is earlier this year. I was on other podcast multiple times, and like, hey, a lot of times we usually just have our other friend and Richard Grieco just like pop in live to our podcast. I'm like, and Ryan Lambert and I were on the show together. We're like, okay.
That's like,
and then like this guy pops up wearing like this cool cowboy hat and a leather jacket. I'm like, who's that? He's like, hey, it's Richard. I'm like, that's Richard Grieco? This is amazing.
Really? Yeah, dude. I remember they gave him his own 21 Jump Street spinoff there for a hot season.
Yeah. So I think it's funny because back at that time, everybody likes to clown Richard Grieco as being sort of the replacement for Johnny Depp or whatever. I'm like, who's laughing now?
Right. Very true.
Have you ever heard of a movie called Deadfall?
Deadfall.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I'm sure
have
I've heard that
I.
it's.
But it has an absolute score of 0, and it was made in 1993. So I figured that somebody has had to see this movie, but nobody I know has seen this yet.
No.
So
93
this is my next one. I'm watching
Is it starring Nick Cage and Richard Grieco?
Oh, absolutely. No, Richard Grieco was not in it, unfortunately.
And if not, can we make Deadfall 2 and it has both of them in?
That would
Absolutely.
be. I would watch that movie. I would give it a
Yes.
1. I would give it a 1 rating.
You're like, hey, and they doubled our score off the.
That's right. It's all because of Richard Grieco, man. It's all Richard Grieco.
I'm telling
Hey, we
you.
should be having Richard Grieco month here on the show. Now.
Don't sleep on Richard Grieco, man. I think he got a bad rap.
That's right. He most certainly did. So, Zane, what's the next ones here on this list here? I want to bring up a couple more Nicolas Cage movies here, and at least see if my dude Andre here has seen them or heard of them or has any opinion on them at all.
All right, I have to go to the movie 8mm. You know, it's number 66 on his list of 88 films.
Okay.
Now, I remember I saw this movie when I was probably about 13 years old, and it scared the life out of me. And it scared the life out of me because, you know, human trafficking is something that's real.
Yeah.
And his character dives in deep to, you know, the seedy underground of trying to track down, you know, this one girl. And it literally terrified me. I couldn't believe how scary this film was, and it still sticks to me this day because you know, he finds this small reel of an 8mm film,
Right.
and he has to track down this woman in this film.
Okay, I vaguely remember the movie. I think I've seen it.
Scared the
once.
life out of me.
Really, I mean, dark is not the word, but like you said, goes down into some deep underground, you know, stuff that most people don't want to go because they're uncomfortable. Really what 8mm, you know, shined a light on is that stuff like that's been going on for a long time. And, you know, so 8mm, you know, the new movies are now, I mean, finding that old snuff film or whatever it is on 8mm, and that story is basically just what the dark web is now.
Yeah.
Right. So what's scary is that it's not getting better, it's getting worse. And it's just more accessible to everybody.
Right.
And all you need is, you know, Tor. You just need, you know, a Tor server access, and you can find all of this just, you know, stuff that humans, if we don't exercise that from our psyche, we ain't gonna make it.
That 100%.
Well, that was one that I had to bring up just because I was like, that one, remember,
Great movie.
left a
Great movie.
very lasting impression with me.
Yeah,
Unlike-
kind of goes in the category of Seven being so dark and gritty and weird. And I think Seven obviously got a lot. But what year was 8mm?
98.
Yeah.
And what year was Seven? 2000?
7 had to have been 2000, 2001, maybe early 2000s.
Yeah. So I think sort of they're like, hey, this is like 8mm, but a little bit lighter.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's got Brad Pitt instead of Nick Cage.
Yeah, exactly.
And Morgan Freeman.
And Morgan Freeman.
So it's totally safe.
Yes.
You're like, oh, this movie's totally safe.
Seven came out before
Really?
Did it?
1995. Yes.
Wow.
I couldn't remember where Seven was. I wasn't good on judging that one, but
I'm
That's
terrible.
just
okay. So what they did with 8mm was like, it's Seven, but darker and weirder because we have Nick Cage.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, 8mm was 99.
Yep. And then he did that gerbil movie, G-Force. That was weird.
That had
was a
Tracy
movie.
Morgan in it. I watched that on Thanksgiving one year.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
G-Force. I thought that, you know, the gerbil thing, I thought that was a Harrison Ford movie, but it just,
Right.
I'm sorry.
So-
Richard
so-
Gere too, even.
I don't know if a lot of you seen this one, but a movie called Primal.
Primal. I've heard of it,
Yeah.
but I haven't gotten to see it. So
Now, he's a big game hunter
Right.
who
buy it.
tracks down a very rare white jaguar. Now he was able to capture this jaguar, and then he has to get back on a transport ship
okay.
and bring not only the jaguar but a lot of other exotic animals back to wherever it is he's going from.
Oh,
And of course, there are terrorists on the boat.
of course there is.
And not only does he have to deal with the terrorists, but he has to deal with the animals and who's gonna get out alive.
I don't know. It's
It was all right. It was okay.
Not the terrorists, if I know
I'm
movies
Terrorists
from
don't
the
make
night.
it out.
I'm thinking the animals are gonna make it, and that's
Well, that ends up being, assault on precinct 13, and hey, we got to uncage the animals if any of us are going to make it. So it's it's primal. It's primal. Survival is primal.
yes.
I tell
I
you,
think that was the log line.
if we knew that the world was coming to a close, and the apocalypse was a coming, releasing the animals from the zoo is one of the top priorities on my
Hell yeah.
list.
Oh, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. That is the first thing I'm gonna do.
It's on my bucket list that I want to release the animals from the zoo.
What are you gonna do? What people are you gonna help? I ain't helping no people. I'm gonna go release every damn animal I can find. They're getting out.
Except for the problem is like give those animals a day and they'll be like, where's our lunch?
Yeah, exactly. And then they're gonna be, all right, I'm gonna
Like,
eat you.
It's noon. Where's our guy that gives us our lunch? Like,
just gonna
we
lay
ain't gonna make it out here, man.
Yeah,
We ain't
they're gonna lay
make
there
it
and
out.
act all depressed. Just be like, bunch of millennials.
What's the next Cage movie? Is it like, do you have like a random number generator, or are you
Oh,
scrolling?
he's going by
I'm randomly grabbing different ones
Just-
from a list of 88. And
Wait, you said was it 8mm was 66 of 88?
yeah.
So he's only done 22 movies. He did 22 movies last year.
Yeah,
Like I don't
that
know
way.
if those numbers are accurate.
88 is what he has credited for right now. Actually, 89 because Prisoners of Ghostland, which is his newest film, is not on this list.
89.
Nor is
Yeah.
Mandy, do I believe, actually.
I thought it was in
Now, Mandy is a phenomenal film.
right.
Oh my gosh. I tell you what. So Mandy is this eclectic story of him falling in love with another, a very artsy woman, very, very off the grid, want to kind of live alone.
Right.
And, they think that they'll never find love, but till they find each other. They find each other, and things seem good, reading poetry in bed.
Right.
And then, a group of Satanists, you'd say, come in and attack them and tie Nick Cage to a pole and then proceed to burn Mandy alive.
Oh, no.
The movie from then takes a very hard left turn. He
As
is
if it
sad.
wasn't,
And but then he goes into the bathroom, typical Nick Cage,
Typical Nick
White
Cage going to the bathroom.
t-shirt.
Okay.
pair of whitey tighties, proceeds to drink a bottle. Could be vodka, could be rubbing alcohol, not quite sure.
Okay.
And then from there, he takes a trip to hell. And then there's pyramids, there is chainsaw battles, there is him eating a some kind of hallucinogenic toxic slime, which fuels his whole revenge.
It sounds like Mike Tyson.
And it also has, oh my gosh, it's got the guy from Predator. He dies very early in the film. Very, very dark-skinned gentleman there. He was from Poughkeepsie. Oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. But it was excellent. If you have not seen Mandy, I highly recommend it.
Is it Bill Duke?
Bill Duke? Not sure. Zanes. He's got this. He's like, who is in?
I'm looking it up.
He's got. I gotta look this up.
I
gonna
tell you,
It's gonna drive fucking
I
crazy.
don't want to be on here. I just want to sit in there
Yeah,
telling
I know.
everybody else what.
I caught.
Put people in.
Have you, since we're talking Nick Cage, have you caught or did you catch?
You were absolutely right, sir. Bill Duke.
Bill Duke, yeah. The movie Mom and Dad. Did you see Mom and Dad?
It's actually. I think it's on that list.
Oh,
yeah. I'm just. I was actually looking at the bio of it, and I wanted to watch it. Have you seen it? It was good.
Yes, I saw it. I think I saw it at Fantastic Fest, and which it's a very Fantastic Fest-ish movie, and because you don't really know what so it's basically this. It's open. Like the opening act almost seems like it's not going to be a good movie because like it just looks kind of amateur and low budge, and like the dialogue's not awesome. And you're like, something's going to happen here. And then when everything starts happening, it's pretty awesome. And the twist in this movie is really cool. It comes back and gets you. It's well done, even though it's a super simple movie. And it's Nick Cage and Selma Blair are the parents, their mom and dad. And the kids, they have kids. And there's something that goes awry. And I think it's like a virus or a bacteria or something, and it creates the I forgot the scientific term of when parents want to kill their children, and so they go and they what do you say, like when, what did you say, like Tuesday afternoon? And so the kids have to barricade themselves in the basement while Selma Blair and Nick Cage get this kind of condition. and try to kill their own kids. It's like I said, then there's a twist. It's great. It's I thought it was clever. It was certainly enjoyable. And you expect Nick Cage to go Nick Cage,
Right.
And he doesn't, and that's sort of the cool part about the anticipation, because you don't get the payoff. Except there's one little moment where he goes a little Nick for a second, and you're like, there it is. You're like, there it is.
Nice.
Yes, they call it. Tasha Robertson calls it, this action is big, messy, bloody, and ridiculous. But there's actually a real sense of horror, and the kids are trying to survive such a personal, intimate, and uncompromising betrayal. She's
Yes.
rated it very good.
All right. I'm
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
number 19 on the list, so it actually was
It's
quite high by the critics.
it's not it's I liked it. I just because it was simple, and it had Selma Blair, who was great in it. And then okay, so here's an Andre connect the dots, go back to Bazinga. Selma Blair was married to Amit Zappa, who was my friend growing up, and Diva Zappa, his little sister, is in Wolfman's Got Nards. And I used to spend time at the Zappa house, where Moon Unit grew up, who sang the song that Frank produced for Valley Girl. Bang.
6 degrees of Andre Gower. We just did it.
I think that's one. I think it's 1 degree.
Awesome. All right, what do we got next? We got one or two more here.
I'll give you one more.
All right, one more. We got this. One more.
Con Air.
Con Air.
There it is.
All right.
I knew I was saving it.
All right, Con
Pass.
Air.
Pass.
Pass. How are you going
Pass.
to pass on the greatest film ever put together? You had John Malkovich. You had David Chappelle. You had oh gosh,
Nicolas Cage.
Wait,
Nicolas
wait,
Cage.
something's
One
happening
more.
to my internet. Something's happening to my internet.
Come on, put the bunny back in the box. Greatest line in film history.
Okay, so why then do you
Is it?
why do you have such disdain for Con Air, Mon Frere?
I think the original disdain is how bad it is, but I think it goes to this other level of camp, and I think it ends up. I'm gonna be mature and take a little of my own kind of preaching when people talk about Verhoeven movies like Starship Troopers, and they don't really get what's happening, or Showgirls, where they don't understand that it's all on purpose. And I believe that Con Air, all that was done on purpose, and it wasn't just trying to be different. It was done on purpose for a level of camp that was so outrageous that we'd be talking about a terrible movie 20 years later.
And it worked.
And it
it worked.
And
Oh,
it worked.
Starship Troopers
And
is a great one.
and I think the over the top camp cliche of the Southern mullet convict, mustache, ex-con or current con accent, and kind of the reverie that is bathed with all of these convicts. It's got to be done all on purpose, and they just said, hey, let's dial it up to a 13. And they killed a great car, like when they dropped that Corvette out of there.
They was certainly dead.
But then it's annoying, like Con Air, I'm in Las Vegas right now, and I used to have a house here and lived here off and on for years, and like when they show a city that and they show it wrong, and they're like, well, you're driving that, it's not where that is. That annoys me too. But that happens on every TV show or anything in LA. When you grow up in LA, nothing's correct. So, it happens with most of the people
Georgia now.
That's right. Now, yeah, well,
right. And who would have thunk, like Dukes of Hazzard were shot north of LA and was supposed to take place in Eastern Georgia, and it looked nothing like Eastern Georgia. What it looked like was Simi Valley, which is where it was.
like I was there.
But they're like, there's no scrub oaks and tumbleweeds in Eastern Georgia. This is weird. Yeah, that's what everybody gets on, when they first saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They're like, okay, so Brad Pitt lives out in Van Nuys and he gets on the 101 to pick up the girl, but then his next exit, right? Like, that's not accurate. I'm like, no, it's not. You're absolutely right. But only LA people can nitpick that he got off on the wrong exit to go where he said he was going.
It's funny.
That was like that. What is it? I was hearing today on the radio about a bus driver that did a review for the Shang-Chi, the Marvel movie.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, and actually broke it down about how many violations were broken on that bus that the bus driver would not have gotten away with.
That's right. I applaud that review by Mr. Bus Driver.
All right, man. I'm gonna have to actually get this wrapped up here because I'm running out of battery life, to be honest, on the laptop here. And so I really do thank you for coming on and bullshitting with us and talking Nick Cage. We had Andre Gower on the show. We talked Nick Cage. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is fucking.
That's so cool. Thank you so much, man. And I'm so glad.
I mean, who wants to talk about Andre Gower? That guy's
right now, you know. Next time we'll get you on and we'll talk about, I don't know, fucking Harrison Ford. I don't know. All right.
No, we gotta have some music. We gotta figure that out so
Yes.
we can actually listen to the music.
I gotta figure that out because I want to get your playlist here, man. I want to get some music from that you pick next time you come on, and we're gonna.
Ooh, my playlist. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Well, it's
gonna
either going to be, you know, British pop invasion from the 80s, Bob Seger, or Southern culture on the skids. So you
That's
pick.
right. Hey, fucking, I'm with that. That sounds like a good show to me. All right.
Plug yourself, Andre.
Yes, your socials and all that good stuff. And
Andre Gower on Twitter is at Andre Gower. On Instagram, it's at Andre Gower Official. Please follow at the Squad Doc. And follow Wolfmans Got Nards. It's just currently getting released internationally, so I think the UK is next. Getting distributed by Arrow Films in the UK and Australia and New Zealand. And it's still available in the US and Canada. I think right now it's playing on Pluto TV and Tubi and VOD. And you can still buy a Blu-ray on Amazon.com if you like to hold physical media.
yeah,
I loved it, by the way. I thought it was a great look, and like when you were on before, how how it touched people's lives, about how the Monster Squad, really affected their lives, and how it wasn't about Monster Squad. It was about the people's lives that it affected. And I just thought it was a really cool, interesting look at, how things can affect, people's lives. And I thought
Perfect.
it was excellently well done.
I appreciate it. Somebody got it. You
Yeah.
got like the one person got it. It's good.
the one person. No. All right, man. Thank you again so much. I know it's been a roundabout getting back on here. But yeah, we'll have you back on real soon. I want to get your playlist here. We're going to play some music. All right, brother, man.
Let's roll.
All right, brother. Have a good night, man.
All right, man. See you.
Take care. All right, so that was Andre Gower we just had on with us, and talking Nick Cage. That was surreal,
right? We had a Hollywood guy
and he
talking
can talk
another
about
Hollywood
things
guy.
so much better than I can.
He's so eloquent, right? Like
I am such a jackass.
He's. I think we did pretty well. I think we did pretty well.
Well, I thank you, Marshall, as always.
Hey, man, and
we did go long.
We did, but you know what? It's gonna go a little bit longer. Not for us, but for you guys, because I thank you guys for sticking around to the end, because now you guys gonna hear a little interview with my good friend Lexi. So she is going to be talking all about what it's like working at a dispensary and getting to try all the good
Green
stuff.
stems, not green buds.
I don't know, but you'll get
big old.
I was
buds.
gonna call it Dr. Green Thumbs, but I realized it was already taken. So you get to hear that interview coming up, as we go here. So Zane, do you got anything you want to tell these people? Because I think maybe if we come back before the end of the month, we'll talk Nick Cage some more.
Well, thank you. I got to thank Andre Gower for coming on. Check out Wolfman's Got Nards, because honestly, it was great. I really much enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I'm not bullshitting about that.
No, and he didn't like the movie very much.
No, and I'm not a big fan of Monster Squad.
Right.
I kind of thought it was like, whatever.
Yeah, but he loved that documentary.
Yep,
and
love the documentary.
I think that's what Andre was going for anyway.
Yeah.
Was to get the casual person to watch the documentary and
Yep.
feel what, make people feel like what what the movie meant to these people.
Yeah.
Like,
because it wasn't my time.
it was just my time. Me and Nicky Sombrero were just at that right age where we could enjoy that movie. I enjoy it now. What the hell am I kidding? Fucking, I still watch it every Halloween. So
all right. Well, next week we'll talk some wrestling again.
yes, we will.
We got
We're gonna have some facts. You know what? I did totally forget, but we're gonna work them in next week, since they the Hanna and Eleanor are gonna be. I did they were going to send us something later on tonight, but I'll mix it in later on.
Yeah, even if you don't put it into this one,
we'll just add it next time.
Just keep loading up that thing. And we'll sprinkle stuff in, throughout the time.
We got this. I just want to say thank you guys
for spending whatever time you're spending with us.
Hey man, there's at least an hour and change you're spending with us, so that's good.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot to listen to us bullshit, and we appreciate it.
Take care.
We really do. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking around on this special Nick Cage November edition of Mole and Zane's podcast of Rambling Randomness. Now, I am here with a very, very special guest, and her name is Lexi. I don't know if she wants me to give out her full name because, it is what it is. On this show, we always give out nicknames. So I'm going to call you Lexi Green Thumbs or Lexi Greenstalk. I see on your there you go. And so why don't you she's a very good friend of mine and Nikki Sombreros of the show. And I would like her to tell you about a business that she runs. Why don't you give everybody the name of your business and what it is?
All right. So I've been with the company since day one. I am very close to owners. They are amazing people. We are women run, minority led. And it is called Medleaf Delivery. We are located all the way on the West Coast, in Oceanside, California. We are the first and only legal delivery service in Oceanside. So that's huge. All of our stuff comes tested, and it's just a labor of love. It blows my mind every day that I get to work in cannabis. It's so awesome. I mean, I literally have a dream job. So I'm the vendor relationships manager.
Okay.
So I get to take a sneak peek at some of the latest and greatest products. I get to help with menu purchasing. I get to do lots of testing. That is the bonus.
That is the bonus. Yes, as far as I'm concerned.
Bonus. And we were having a little bit of chat before we got on here, and I was just telling him about my week this past week. It has been absolutely insane. Just like any other industry, cannabis runs, just like your local Bath and Body Works, if you will. We've got so much stuff coming up. We've got like Green Wednesday for Thanksgiving next week. Huge sales. Like I was telling Mole earlier, we've got like over 200 eights. We're doing these doorbusters on Black Friday. We're gonna start delivering cannabis at 6 a.m. It is gonna be quite the day.
Great. Does it come with coffee? Because
honestly, some of our patients, my drivers will be going to the deliveries, right? And we'll get like pictures on our like little group chat, and like in the summer, our patients give our drivers popsicles. Some of them have made them coffee in the past.
That's awesome.
They'll come back with like a box of like microwave popcorn for the office. We have some really cool customers.
That's awesome.
Obviously for like, privacy purposes, I can't say too many things, but some famous people purchase from us, which is pretty awesome. That's a given.
I think that's a given at some point in the industry out there. You're going to find somebody who's been in something that people know. So we see the name come through and we're like, is that really who you think it is? And like the driver's like stoked, like, going over there. So nice. It's a pretty cool business. Medleaf. We just had our year anniversary. We opened on July 10th of 2020. So we were operating during the pandemic.
Okay.
I got hired during the pandemic, which was pretty crazy. We are deemed essential workers.
Yes. I was about to ask. I was like, how was that starting up during the pandemic? Like,
it was super rough. The start of the business. I got brought on as like a front office manager, and I kind of dabbled in every little like aspect. Like I learned sales. I learned how to build the products in the system. I learned fulfillment, routing. I mean, there's so many aspects to the whole company. But it was a trip, like we always had to wear masks. I remember the first patient we ever had to deliver to that was corona, she was positive, you know, and like,
Right.
how do we maneuver that while staying within our compliance? Because there's certain things we have to hit, you know, in every delivery.
Yeah.
So it was a trip, but I mean, from the start, we had like maybe 10 employees, which was crazy. And like 3 delivery vans. Now
Right.
we're at 11 delivery vans and almost like 50 employees, which is pretty
wow.
insane.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
It's grown so much. I'm so proud.
That is so great. Now I'm gonna bring this up because, you know, it is a business, and you're obviously a very strong advocate for it. Now, what is your what is your go-to I want to say blend or breed, you know what I mean, like of plant strain, we'll call it. There you go.
Okay,
Strain.
so yeah,
I was looking for the word. I'm
I like
obviously
to
stoned, so go ahead.
mix it all over the board.
Right.
Yeah, no. My boss thinks I'm like an encyclopedia of cannabis. Just because she's always like, Lexi, like, what is this mix? And I'm
Right.
just like, blah, 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 blah. And this came from there. And my husband is really into cannabis as well.
We're gonna talk about him in a second.
Yeah. We'll talk about him in a second.
Yeah.
But so my favorite strain of cannabis, oh man, I'm an indica kind of a girl.
Me too.
I really love a good, like, forbidden fruit is one of my favorites. I love purple punch crosses. Purple punch is always going to give you that super, super sweet grape smell, which is just so pleasant. And then I just like the whole body relaxation. So you're usually going to catch me always smoking an indica, but I mean, I've also been doing this like my whole life.
Right.
A lot of people have a hard time keeping up with me. This is actually a fun fact about myself. I have had the very amazing pleasure of smoking with Tommy Chong.
Oh, wow.
And I actually outsmoked him.
What?
He had to tap out before I was even close to being done. So
Oh man, that's a good story to have. Definitely pat yourself on the back for that one.
that was super cool. I was, right before the pandemic. It was November of 2019, and I won an Instagram contest of all things.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty random. Right.
Yeah, I got chosen, and he was like choosing like 10 people, and it was going to be a certain day. It was at the Cannabis Cafe that was up in LA. It's not there anymore. But like where you could like order smoke and eat all at the same time. And they had a big old table set up for us, and there he was, Tommy Chong. I've got bunches of pictures, photos, like I've got a big bong in my bedroom that we don't let anyone smoke out of, but it's it's like 2 feet and it's baby blue. It's this like obnoxious bong, and it has his autograph on it. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. So Nikki Sombrero is trying to get through, but it's not letting her. So I don't know I don't know what is going on. Wait. Hold on. Admit, here we go. Hold on. I think are you there? Oh, hold on. Fingers crossing. Are you there? Oh, connecting audio. Hold on. There she is.
There she is in her Oklahoma glory.
Oh.
Hi, Lex.
Hi.
This is so great. Everybody, Nikki Sombrero. So
I am non-makeup. No judging here.
No judging. It's fine. I'm in my basement, so I don't want to hear anything. Like I should be at the studio.
My hair well on a Zoom call. That's how we're working it here.
Hey, that works. So we were just talking, and Lexi Greenstalk here is she was just telling how she was smoking with Tommy Chong, and that she has a bong that nobody gets to smoke out of. I'm so jealous, by the way.
That's true.
And so now that Nikki Sombrero popped on, you guys got to tell me, when was the first time you smoked together?
Oh Jesus.
We're gonna
we got to go back.
Well, let's see. Less than 8 is when I met you.
Yeah, it had to be 2008 because I was always smoking every day. So I don't go a day in my life without smoking. So if you met me once, chances are you have smoked weed with me.
That was our collective Gators time.
Yeah,
we were all there.
Gators Dockside. Shout out to
Yes.
Florida homies.
Yeah, in the kitchen,
Yeah.
sweated
Well,
like balls in that
That's
kitchen.
warmed over.
Yeah. I was
There's
the
no
hostess
hope
with the
today.
mostest.
Yeah. So I would actually like to ask you that we brought up your husband before. He's got a podcast, right? Am I correct? You said that.
Yeah. So my husband, his name is Jack Greenstalk, and every Sunday he hosts a podcast called Growing with My Fellow Growers. It's live on YouTube, and he kind of just like hosts a panel of guys and gals actually, and they all kind of do different things within the cannabis industry. Some of them are growers in different states. One of them who I love to chat it up with, he's the like world's number 2 like bug guy. There's a name for it. I want to say it's like an entomologist, but I don't know if that's correct.
Gotcha.
But he knows everything you'd ever want to know about bugs, and he also lives in San Diego, so we see him from time to time in person, and I always just like to ask him obnoxious questions about bugs. So he's super cool. And then obviously my husband, he is the host, and so they bring up different topics. They talk about growing, they talk about laws, they'll interview growers,
Okay.
And they kind of just, it's like a 2-hour session. It's pretty cool. If you have time on Sundays, check it out. They're always uploaded onto all the devices and streaming places that people on podcasts put things.
That's right. I will put links actually.
Find it there.
Yeah,
So,
I'll put links in this interview and the podcast. So
yeah, I don't do them very often, as you can all tell. So they're there.
There. So being as how it is Nick Cage November here on the show, and this is me and Zane are talking about all 88 of Nicolas Cage's movies that he is credited for. Okay, now he is not credited for a lot more. Okay, but 88 on the books Nicolas Cage movies. I want to ask you, Lexi, what's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
Okay, I already know. I was like already like anticipating this. So
All right.
I'm gonna be super basic white girl. I fucking love all the National Treasure movies.
They're good
He's
movies.
a badass. I love it.
I do love
yeah. I love National Treasure 1, 2. Sign me up. I could watch those anytime.
Anytime.
No problem.
Those are good movies. Nicky Sombrero. Come on now. Nicolas Cage.
I have 2, I think, actually. I mean,
Oh.
Lexi definitely touched on one already. The Rock has my heart forever.
Good
With him
movie.
and Sean Connery. I adore that movie. I've seen it too many times. And I love The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
That's a great. I never think about that one, honestly. That's a good
I mean,
one
I
too.
have a lot of them, but I mean, as far as
wasn't
ones I
he in Raising Arizona too?
Yes.
Yes.
And
I
Moonstruck
like
with
that
Cher.
one.
Yes. I'm
you
a
know,
big
it's like those are just 2 I've watched so many times. But I mean, there's so many good ones.
Now, have you guys seen the new, not new, but a newer movie of his called Willy's Wonderland?
No.
No.
He doesn't say a word the whole movie. It's
That's
amazing.
impressive.
No, it's amazing. I think it's one of his best movies. Like the
Wow.
facial expressions and just the way he goes at this movie. Check it out. It's called Willy's Wonderland. He plays a janitor at a like a Chuck E. Cheese type place, and the animatronics go crazy like at night, and like he's got to stop them. It's a really good movie. Whacked out and weird. Check it out. Now my favorite's Moonstruck, but that's I like Cher. I'm not. Don't ask. Don't
Oh,
touch.
that's a
I
good
love
one.
Cher. I love Cher. That was my very first concert with Cher.
Oh shit.
Her first farewell tour.
Her first farewell tour. Okay.
First.
She's had a couple, I think.
Yeah, she's had a couple.
So, Lexi, we have touched on your job. We've touched on your preferred strain of the marijuana. We've touched on you talking and smoking with Tommy Chong and your husband's podcast, but we haven't touched on your favorite edibles. I know you got to take
Okay.
one.
So, like I said earlier, I am a very heavy hitter, and Nikki can attest to this.
Yes.
Yeah, he's tried to kill me a couple times now.
I mean, okay, so unfortunately for a lot of the consumers in California, when we got legalization for adult use in the entire state, they regulated how many milligrams can go in the edibles here.
Right.
So before, I used to buy like 500 milligram edibles,
Okay.
you know, and it was a little bit less regulated. It was called Prop 215. That was since the 90s, and it was the Compassionate Caregivers Act and everything. So those were awesome. And I would eat one, and it would be like, you know, a good 3-hour trip. But now the edibles are good. My favorite tasting ones actually happen to be drinks, and I have them in I have a weed fridge.
You have a weed fridge. I love this woman. I'm just
it's a legit. It's actually it's a legit
fucking amazing
weed fridge that we won. So we're very lucky people. My husband won this weed fridge on an Instagram thing again.
Instagram. Random. I gotta get on Instagram.
And it's by a company called Curador, and it's basically like a wine fridge, and it's humidity controlled, and it's got this Mendo Dope Boys wrap on it. It's like limited edition. It's super cool. Anyway, so I'm looking at my fridge, and we've got these edibles. I would call them edibles.
Right.
They're drinks, and it's by a company called Habit, and they are 100 milligram. I just think that the drinks hit a little harder and faster.
Right.
And so I've got the flavors of mandarin, kiwi, and a lemonade one in my fridge right now. And so that would be my favorite edible. Are these drinks.
Gotcha. Now, what's your take on the gas station sold CBD stuff? Do you buy into it? Do you think it's mainly just junk and fucking like a vape? No, you think it works? Like I've never.
Stay away from CBD gas at the gas station.
I'm only saying that because there's a lot of it around here, and people are doing a lot, and I don't do it. So.
Yeah. I mean, some of it can be good, some of it can be bad. It's really just like white labeled like CBD oil. So who knows where it came from? Who knows how that plant was tested? And honestly, like just straight CBD oil is not super effective. It needs to have that little slight hint of THC, not to get you high, just so that the two cannabinoids can activate and like work to strengthen the like healing property of what CBD is really, really good at doing. But you do need that THC in there. In just the slightest amount. I really like people who want great pain relief. I recommend like 4 to 1s, like 4 parts CBD to like 1 part THC, or even higher. They do 20 to 1s, 30 to 1s. And that delivers such great pain relief, but you do need that THC. And I think a lot of people are scared, and it's going to pop on a drug test, obviously, but no one tests for that shit anymore.
No, especially in our area now. I mean, it's legal in New York, so they don't.
Yeah, everywhere, how could they?
Right. And I'm just like trying to give people some information. So I figured I'd ask you because you work in the industry. You know what I mean? So
I recommend going to, I don't know what the regulations are exactly like in New York.
Right. They're probably garbage.
Everywhere starts off, you got to start somewhere.
Right.
And not everywhere can be, California overnight. Like,
exactly.
And there's ups and downs about California's, legalization, and we're always working to make them better.
Right.
But the greatest part about it all is just the testing.
Yeah.
I deal with all the back end work when I accept products from a vendor.
Right.
It comes with like 5 pages of lab testing, and this is every single product, every single delivery. It doesn't like just because I get the same product redelivered. No, that next product has also been tested.
Oh wow, okay.
And it has to pass like certain like qualities, like no metals and no pesticides. It's pretty crazy. I definitely know half the stuff on the shelves at Walmart don't have this kind of testing. So
yeah,
it pays to go and shop the legal way. It
Right.
may be more expensive in the end, but like also you're just putting better stuff and quality in your body.
That's true. Well, Nikki Sombrero, do you have any questions for Lexi here? I was like, see, where are you going? Oh, there you are.
So I
Jesus
had to
Christ.
find my iPad charger because my iPad was about to die.
Oh, all right. Well, do you have anything that you want to say to Lexi before we get out of here? Because I've kept her long enough and she's probably very busy. We had to wait.
Start? I miss you. You're my best friend.
I know. I just sent her so many TikToks like right before I got on here.
God, woman, I miss you.
I miss you. I wish you were coming out here for Thanksgiving.
You know what? It's not off the table yet. Honestly, I'm just I'm waiting on money to fall out of the sky. Is
Out of the
basically
sky.
where we're at.
Yeah. Nikki Sombrero is on location. We're gonna call that
on location.
Yes,
I love it.
I mean, we can say where I am.
Okay, where are you?
See where I am. I am in Elk City, Oklahoma. I am filming Trailblazers pictures. Trailblazers, a movie with a crazy, amazing cast. Actually, we had some press come out today, which I'll be posting later because some of my photos are in the newspaper.
Nice.
As of this morning. So the press is starting to get out about it. We're on Thanksgiving break for the next 10 days, but I'm in catching up with life. I have 2 weddings to finish editing and some headshots in this movie and Firehouse responsibilities. And I'm trying to get it all done before I start another thing. But at the same time, I really want to go hop over to Cali to go see Lexi. There is a however, and I haven't told you either of this yet.
What?
So in
Breaking news.
February, there's a certain somebody that's going to be filming in LA all of February. So you will be able to see me. I will make sure that's a thing. Actually, how far are you from LA?
On a good day of traffic, like 2 hours. Not that bad. Like less, maybe.
That's pretty much
a little less.
normal.
Maybe it's not that bad.
Let me explain to you what Elk City, Oklahoma is. All right, so the closest CVS to where my bumpkin behind is right now is 2 hours away. So when I tell you that there's nothing here but rolling fields and cattle, that is all that is here. It's gorgeous. Awesome. I've never seen sunrises and sunsets like this in my life. It's got this like gorgeous, beautiful appeal. I'm in love with being here every day, but the other part of my brain has that like ants in my pants, like, oh God, there's nothing around here.
Nothing.
Wow. All right, guys.
Nothing.
Well, I gotta end this before I sit here all day and talk to you guys. I literally would. I'm so love you too, Cuzzo. Lexi, thank you so much for coming on. I really do appreciate it. I want to have you back on again when we can actually sit down and just bullshit, like actually have you as a guest on the show. How is that? Like, that sounds really good.
Sounds good.
We'll get Nikki Sombrero on as well. And we're going to do this proper. So everybody, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for listening to the show. Thank you for Nick Cage November. Because, we'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.